Now come back here. Come back here. Yes, you. Come tell me, why are you running away from meat piles? Why? Oh, I see. Now, I am going to share those little secrets, those tips that are going to help you achieve the best meat pies ever. You're going to have the most delicious meat pies ever. So worry not. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another beautiful and exciting episode of The Twist. I am Chanazi, and all I do is twist the little things my mom showed me in her beautiful, beautiful, beautiful traditional kitchen. And today, we are going to be tackling some meat pies. So, whatever worries you have, bring them on. We are going to solve them today. So the first thing you need to is measure your flour. You need to measure your flour and have the right measurement. So we are going to be measuring 1000 grams of flour or 8 cups of flour. Are you taking down notes? So once you measure your flour, go ahead and sieve your flour. You must sieve your flour. Make sure you sieve your flour. All right, sieve your flour. Okay. Now you notice that I'm using my hands to dig in the flour and sprinkle in my cup. That is because I do not have a scale and I do not want to use my cup and scoop it, because once you do that, you're going to fail in your measurement. Once you scoop, the quantity that you use your cup to scoop, it's always a little bit more than when you use your hands to sprinkle. And we want to have the exact measurement. So that is why I'm using my hands to sprinkle. All right, guys. That is very important. So here we have our 8 cups of flour or 1000 grams of flour. Then I have some butter, I have some salt, and I have some water. Now you need to make sure that your water is cold and your butter is cold. Next, we are adding our salt into our flour. Just mix and make sure that everything is nicely incorporated. Then we are going to go in with our butter. I'm actually using unsalted butter. You can use salted butter. That's fine. I'm using unsalted butter. So I'm just going to add my butter. Make sure your butter is cold. That is in cold. So just go ahead and add in your butter. We're going to be adding 500 grams of butter. Now, another tip is this. When you're using your butter, you should make sure that the portion is 2:1. So if you're using 500 grams of butter, if you're using 500 grams of flour, you should use 250 grams of butter. So I am using 1000 grams of flour and I'm going in with 500 grams of butter. Now you're going to use your hands and mix that thing beautifully. Do that gently. Now you're going to mix this until you have tip number 4. Tip number 4, you need to make sure that the texture, the consistency you have should feel like moist sand or moist gari. You know, it's not too dry and it's not wet, but just moist. So you need to have something like that. You need to have that feeling. Yeah, are you seeing what I'm having? So once you have that texture, just create a hole, bore a hole in the middle and go in with your water. All right, guys. So for our water, we used 1 cup and almost a quarter cup. That is about 4 tablespoons of water. So you're going to use 1 cup and 4 tablespoons of water. When you add that, we're going to tip number 5. Now you're going to mix this. You do not need to mix this for long, all right? You do not need to mix this for long. And then you're going to add some love. I added 3.5 cups of love. Then I mixed everything until I had a dough-like texture. Once you have a dough formed, you don't need to you don't need to over knead it. It takes you about 3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes to knead everything. Once you have a texture like this, it's not supposed to be smooth, trust me. So next we're going to refrigerate our dough. I'm just cutting mine in fours. It's just a personal preference because I do not want to overwork my dough. Remember, when you overwork your dough, you're going to lose the texture that you're looking for. And remember, we want to have a flaky crust at the end of the day. So I'm just wrapping it to protect my dough against any food smells that might be found in the refrigerator. All right. You can just put it in a bowl and cover it, but I just decided to wrap it this way. This is just a personal preference. Okay. Once we are done, we're going to put that in the fridge or a cold angle in the kitchen. If your kitchen is not hot, that's fine. Just put it there, and then we are going to go to the next step. And our next step is making our filling. While this is chilling in the refrigerator, we are going to go ahead and make our filling. All right. Now for our filling, we are going to be using two Irish potatoes and some carrots. I'm using four medium-sized carrots. You can make use of any vegetables of your choice. All right, guys, you can make use of any vegetables of your choice. Now we're just going to peel our carrots and our potatoes. That's all what we need to do right now. Make sure you peel them and then go ahead and slice them. Once you peel and slice, you are good to go. In my mama's kitchen with the sun sinking low. Now, once you're done peeling them, just wash and slice. I'm going to be dicing them. I want them to have the same shape so that they're going to cook evenly. Once I slice my potatoes, I'm going to drop them in water to avoid them from changing their color. All right, guys, so let's go. It's the rhythm I know. Every bite is a song. Let the flavors unfold. She hum a melody as the pot began to steam. Mixing tradition with the young girl's dream. Plantains on the side with a swirl and a spin. The taste of my roots, the world's invited in. It's more than a recipe, it's the way we exist. Feel the magic, the music in every shot of twist. Shot of twist from the heart of my soul, from the village of Cameroon where the stories are told. Shout a twist, it's the rhythm I know. Every bite is a song, let the flavors unfold. It's more than a recipe. All right, let's get to part two. So here we have 1 kilogram of minced beef. And then I have my potatoes washed and diced. Next, we have some scotch bonnet pepper. Here are two scotch bonnet peppers. And then I have here some red and yellow capsicum. You can use any vegetables of your choice, guys. I have here some diced onions as well. Then we have some carrots, diced carrots. And of course, I have here my sliced spring onions. Then we have our thickener. Our thickener is just some flour and some water. Okay. So in a clean frying pan, I'm going to add some oil. Once our oil is hot, we're going to sprinkle some salt and then go in with our onions. As simple as that. Yeah, just add in your onions and stir fry. Next, you want to go in with your minced beef. You're going to add in your minced beef and continue stir frying. Now, it's going to cook in its own juice and it's going to cook until, all the pinkish color disappears. Then you know that you're ready. You are ready. So just stir this beautifully and make sure you add some love. I added 3.5 teaspoons of love. Remember, always add love to your cooking, guys. And if you do not add love to this meat pie, it is going to fail. It is going to fail. Yeah. So we're going to let it cook. It's cooking beautifully and you can see how the color is changing. Yeah, the color is changing. Once it is nicely cooked, we are going to go ahead and add in our potatoes. I'm going to add in my potatoes and give it a stir for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Then I'm going to go in with my carrots. All right. So just give that a beautiful stir and go in with your carrots. Yeah. Once you add your carrots, go in with your pepper. Now, pepper is optional. If you're pepper intolerant, just forget about the pepper. Oh my God, everywhere was beginning to smell lovely. Yeah. Once it cooks until it's almost ready, then go in with your thickener. Add in your thickener and stir it beautifully. At this stage, everything is almost ready. You can see how beautiful it looks. I know you'll be wondering, but now it's time to go in with bell peppers. I'm adding the yellow and red. Then I'm also going in with my spring onions. And it is almost time to, to turn up the heat. Once I add it, I'm going to stir it for about 30 seconds and I'm going to take it off. Remember, I always love my veggies to be a bit crunchy. Yeah. So our filling is ready, guys. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this thing looks. Are you not proud of yourself? Aren't you proud of yourself, darlings? So I'm going to transfer it into a bowl and allow it to cool down. You can refrigerate it. You can put it in your freezer so it cools down very, very fast if you are in a hurry. Step number three, let's go. Step number three. So all our ingredients are ready, and here we have our filling and our dough plus some eggs. So here is our filling. You need to make sure that your filling is cold because you do not want to use hot filling. That is step number six, either six or seven. Then we have some eggs here, and of course our dough. Now we're going to unwrap our dough and then I'm just molding it. Should I say I am kneading it? I'm going to knead this for about 30 seconds max. I just want to give it a beautiful shape. Then I'm going to cut them into smaller sizes and I'm going to make some balls. You're doing this gently, guys. You are not overworking this thing. Next, you want to whisk your eggs or beat your eggs. And there we go. We are ready. Do you have any questions? Were you attentive in class? Do you have any questions, guys? If you don't have any questions, okay, let's continue. So now it's time to flatten our dough. You need to do this gently. You don't want to overwork our dough, remember. So you just flatten it and you do not want it to be very thin. It has to be a little bit thick. Once you do that, then go ahead and add in your filling. Again, make sure your filling is cold. Make sure your filling is cold. All right. Then you're going to fold it. Before you fold it, you can use the egg wash to, to serve as some kind of seal to seal the edges. All right. You can use that. You can use the thickener and you can use water. I used all my thickener, so I'm going to use the egg wash and some water. So here, once you've done that, use your fingers and press the edges a little bit. Then you can use a fork to, to shape it beautifully and give it that traditional design that we have on our meat pies. Okay. So once you do that, just place that on your baking dish or your baking tray. Sorry, just put that on your baking tray and continue repeating the same process over and over. Now you don't want to bother about the shape. You cannot have the same shape. They cannot be identical because they are handmade. And handmade is always the best and very expensive. Do you know that? Always remember what you need is love. Just do this with love, guys. And you have those that are cute. You really have those that are cute. You have those that are cute, and you will have some that are cute, but they are all cute. And so, if you have a binding machine, you can go ahead and use it. All that matters is you have a beautiful end product. Right, darlings? That's what matters. And if you make your meat pies without love, they won't be delicious. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me.
In my mama's kitchen with the sun sinking low, spices on the counter like a vibrant rainbow glow. She said the secret, girl, is not in the list. It's the love in your hands, that's China Twist. China Twist, from the heart of my soul, from the village of Cameroon where the stories are told. China Twist, it's the rhythm I know, every bite is a song.
Tip number 8 or tip number 9, I've lost count. But what we need to do now is use our egg wash and brush our meat pies. Okay. Once you're done brushing them, use a fork or any sharp object to perforate your meat pies or poke them. Now, you always, tip number 10 or tip number 11, always perforate them after brushing. That is going to prevent the eggs from blocking the holes that you created, right? Because those holes help your pies to breathe. It's some kind of ventilation. And then next, we're going to go ahead and bake our pies. You want to bake them for about 45 to 50 minutes. Tip number 11 or tip number 12, always make sure you preheat your oven. Always preheat your oven, guys. And feel free to garnish it again with some love. Love is never enough. All right, guys. So let's go. Let's go.
Magic, the music, and every kind of twist. Shadow twist. From the heart of my soul, from the village of Cameroon, where the stories are told. Shadow twist. It's the rhythm I know. Every bite is a song. Let the flavors unfold. Peppers whisper secrets. Garlic starts to sing. Coconut milk dancing makes the stew take wings. A pinch of mama's wisdom, a dash of my own. Shine a twist is a legacy grown. Whisper secrets, garlic starts to sing. Coconut milk dancing makes the stew take wings. A pinch of mama's wisdom.
Woohoo! Look at this, guys. If I have one thing to say, I'll just say give this a try and drop your comments in the comment section. Yeah, just give this a try. Thank you so much, everybody. I won't be talking too much because it speaks for itself. All right, guys. So just give this a try and let's know what you think in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all and I will see you in a bit. Let's remember to be kind. Let's remember to show some love out there. And please do not forget to like, comment, and share the video so others can learn. And here you can use this for a small business. You can start up something with this recipe. I love you guys. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Mwah!